Welcome back to another episode of Inword News. It's your boy Dre. This week I gave Nadaria and Q the week off because a lot's happened, and I understand how traumatizing it can be to one, not only be black and witnessing your people be killed, what feels like daily on the internet, but to have them come in and say it and repeat it and tell these stories and all this other stuff about it. It takes a lot of mental strength to do that, so I'm giving them the week off. They don't have to talk about it. But yeah, we're going to start off with something positive, just because the rest of the show is going to be negative. And the wild part about that is the rest of the show is basically all stemming from one event that caused a lot to happen. First story, 19 black families came together to purchase 90 acres of land to create a safe haven for black people. Ashley Scott was suffering from the trauma after watching all the black people be killed on TV. Like I said, this affects everybody. White people, you may see it as, why is it always about race? Well, guess what? Black people see it as black people dying. That's it. We don't care who's killing us. Anytime a black person is killed, murdered, attacked, it's constantly replayed on TV. And they're talking about how bad it is and how negative it is and how violent these incidents are, but they keep showing them. And it's only for black people. If you don't believe me, run back the tapes. Do it. Check them yourself. She went to get therapy, and it gave her the revelation that people should not witness the murder of their kind almost daily. Exactly. And her therapist told her to, find a positive outlet, find something to do, like figure out how to get her mind off of it. So she hooked up with some of her friends and spearheaded the Freedom Georgia initiative. This resulted in the purchase of all the land, well, not all the land, but 90 acres of land in Toomsboro, Georgia. They opened it for family camping trips. It's a gateway. It's a getaway from technology and all the other negative stuff we experience in the media. It's just a way to get out. It's a way to step away from social media, the traditional media, newspapers, news, all that, just so we don't have to see all of us being killed all the time by those sworn to protect us. And the incident that triggered this is the big story nationally and here. Jacob Blake, another black man, was shot in the back last week. He was shot 7 times in front of his kids. Luckily, he is in stable condition in the hospital, but unfortunately, he was paralyzed from the waist down. And new information came out after I wrote this that he is currently handcuffed to his hospital bed. Imagine being paralyzed from the waist down. You can't feel your legs, and somebody handcuffs you to something because they don't want you to run away. Now, if we have the information that he is paralyzed from the waist down, if we have that information as consumers of media and news, if we have that information as people that have nothing to do with the situation, those cops have that information as well. So what the hell is a handcuff needed for? And you're probably asking, why is he handcuffed? It's because information came out after the shooting that he's a sexual assault assailant. There's, I guess, warrants for his arrest for rape and domestic violence. And whereas we're not excusing any of that behavior, none of that was available until after this man was shot 7 times in the back. It's the same thing they always do. When a unarmed black person is killed, they immediately demonize them. Immediately. This man was shot in the back 7 times, and the very next day, domestic abuse charges, sexual assault assailant. He had a knife in the car. All these things. This man also had his kids in the car, but that wasn't a concern. Kenosha, Wisconsin, where this incident happened, has been in flames ever since. Immediately after this shooting, that very night there were protests, and the next night, dumpsters, fire trucks, buildings, all kinds of stuff was attacked and set ablaze. And that's what happens. That incident sparked two different stories. One locally here in Columbus, Georgia, a man went into a AutoZone and stabbed a white employee in the neck and back. Just asked him for assistance, and when the white man, the employee, went to get whatever the man asked for, when he turned around, the man started stabbing him. Luckily, his co-worker, reacted quick, got this man to the hospital. I think he is alive as of now. I'm not sure. I do believe he's gonna recover mentally, maybe not so much. But when this man appeared for his first hearing in court, they asked him why he did it. And I guess this was during the initial interrogation. They was reading this off in the courtroom. He said because he went out with the intent to harm a white man. He went out with the intent to hurt somebody for being white. And this was because, in his words, he was tired of seeing black people be murdered and shot on TV. And this is one of the reasons, well, obviously I told Q and Adair they can have the week off before I got this information, but that just proves that I made the right decision. Constantly seeing people that look like you be murdered and killed, like I said, what feels like daily, is going to have adverse effects on your psyche. That man is suffering from mental trauma from watching his people die constantly. And black on black crime, shut the fuck up. People, okay, put it this way. When kids get into fights at school, you talk them through it. You tell them you can't do this. Why are you attacking somebody in your class? Why are you attacking your peers? And they explain it. When a teacher hits your child, you don't care what the reasoning was. That's not their job. If you find out a teacher hit your child, you can ask the teacher, one, you're going to want that teacher fired. You're going to want that teacher brought up on assault charges. And then you're going to say, well, why did you feel the need to hit my child? And guess what? No matter what they say, you don't care, because that's not their job. Their job is to teach your child. Same thing with the police. It doesn't matter what was going on. Their job is to apprehend the suspect. And the issue right now is that these aren't suspects. These are just people that they're assaulting, shooting, killing, beating, all this. And people say, well, we need both sides of the story. You don't care. That doesn't matter. I said, if two kids fighting each other, you don't say, oh, kid on kid violence. It's just, why are they doing that? You figure out what the issue is and then you resolve it. Why aren't black people allowed that same, I guess, patience and understanding? Because guess what? We've been abused far longer than the kid thinks he's been upset. Because guess what? What you do for a kid isn't bad. They can think it's bad, but it's not. We've been beat, killed, strung up, lynched, dragged, ripped apart, fed to dogs. And most of it's been caught on camera. As long as video recording has been around, there's probably a video of a black person being assaulted in some way. But we're not seen as the ones that shouldn't. We're not seen as the ones to be cared for. We're seen as, oh, forget it. Not my generation. Yes, it is. Because guess what? The same shit that civil rights activists was fighting for back then, we're still fighting for. So how is that not your generation when we're still fighting the same problems? The other event that Jacob Blake caused was the protests, and which turned into riots in Kenosha, Wisconsin, called for a aspiring cop, as most big media want to paint him, Kyle Rittenhouse drove from a different state with a rifle and killed 2 protesters and injured another. The one injured has to have his arm amputated. This is a lifelong injury that he will constantly be reminded of every time he goes to fucking grab something. And the media is trying to paint this terrorist and assailant as some great kid with maybe a lapse in judgment. But guess what? This kid drove from a different state. He drove from Illinois. He drove over 35 minutes to get here. And I can't say drove because he rode. And if you're wondering where were his parents, they're the ones that drove him there. His mother is the one that gave him a ride from Illinois to Wisconsin. Somebody from the area, I seen them tweeting about it, they said it's a 35-minute drive. This man drove a little over half an hour from where he lives to another place to protest, or another place where there is protest, so he can assault people because he says those people need protection. Not the military, but the cops are out there full riot gear, and we already believe that they're over militarized, so they can handle it. They have the riot shields, they have the helmets, they have tear gas, they have rubber bullets that they've been misusing. They have all this, but this kid thought that he should come help because he's an aspiring cop. He's a safety cadet. And this man shot somebody. And then the other protesters said, this kid shot somebody. We need to take his rifle. He's obviously a threat to people's lives. He takes that as self-defense mode and he shoots another person. Then he shoots another. Now there's 2 people dead and 1 injured. Gravely. Well, not gravely, but lifelong, life-changing injury. Because he's not where he's supposed to be. And guess what? Nothing happened to him that day. He was allowed to leave and go home. This video surfaced of this man shooting these people. And the next morning they say that he was apprehended. He turned himself in. And I doubt that. I believe the police went over there and he just knew he was going to get, so it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. Those are the 2 incidents that came from this. The black man who's tired of watching his people be murdered and have it televised and plastered on the walls like a fucking billboard. He goes out and lashes out and injures and stabs, somebody that didn't deserve it. Somebody that had nothing to do with the situation. That is wrong. But guess what? He was immediately arrested. Taken to court next day. Kyle Rittenhouse has big media pushing out that, he was cleaning graffiti the day of his assault. The day that he assaulted somebody. They put here he is cleaning graffiti. Oh, he's an aspiring cop. Look at him. He's a safety cadet. Look at all these good things about him. He was trying to help the people. And that caused something else. The police, the Kenosha police chief had a press conference talking about the riot, and they mentioned this situation. And this man said in front of all these microphones, in front of all these cameras, he said those protesters wouldn't have been shot if they was following curfew. This 17-year-old drove from another state to come over here with an assault rifle. And the police chief says the people that he murdered would be alive if they were in the house. What the fuck do you think would happen if this guy stayed in his house in another fucking state? Exactly. He demonized those killed and victimized the murderer. A police chief, and you don't see where you don't see where the defund the police comes from. We need a whole revamping of the police situation from shit like this. Like I said, the media coverage. All major outlets are victim blaming and conducting PR moves to spin both situations. Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back by Kenosha police, but they're releasing his past criminal records, saying he had a knife in the car. None of that was necessary. The people that were killed by Kyle Rittenhouse, they're saying, oh, this won't happen if they was in their house. Kyle Rittenhouse, he comes out and they're posting all this stuff about how he was a good kid. None of that fucking matters. But the media can't have that. Aspiring cop, what the fuck does that matter? That means fucking nothing. And this affected the sports world. The NBA, WNBA, and some of the Major League Baseball games, the players all refused to play last week in protest of the shooting. So the entire Game 5 series of the NBA was postponed. And they said they refused to play until we get justice in this country. WNBA didn't play, but they were also seen in t-shirts with 7 bullet holes painted on their backs. And the front of the shirts was spelling out Jacob Blake. And this happened, and it was a big moment. It was like, this is great. This is amazing. This is what we need. These athletes are still black. 2 players from the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't have it in here, I don't have their names, but they've experienced racism, being NBA players. One had an incident with the police where they had a knee on his neck, or knee on his back. They tried to apprehend him. And then when they found out he was in the NBA, they tried to oh, I'm sorry, we didn't know, you fit the description of some bullshit. Another guy was an NBA player going to buy jewelry. The jeweler didn't believe that this man had the money. They thought he was just in there, I guess, trying to scam him. This was an issue. So they called the authorities. Now he has to deal with that. These are real incidents in the NBA. But that happened, we were proud. And then the very next day, something wild happened. The NBA took back and said they're going to continue the series. They said they're going to finish out the season. Black Twitter got a hold of this and obviously attacked them. Let them know that y'all ain't shit. Y'all caused this big hoopla over how y'all was going to stand for us and all this. It later comes out, says that they talked with Obama, and Obama told them that they should finish out the season. I don't agree with that. Fuck it. They make millions off of black athletes. And obviously the league is getting more diverse, but we're not going to act like the league ain't 90% black. Baseball is probably the most... No, baseball and hockey are the most Caucasian dominant sports. Mainly hockey. Because I know a lot of Hispanics and Asians are in the baseball league. That's a much more universally played sport, even though they try to make it seem like it's an American sport. But yeah, they backpedal, and for what? Quit. Y'all got millions. If you were smart with your money, you should be good. And if not, go to Ice Cube. He got the Big 3 league. Obviously, he can expand it, make it a bigger basketball league. Do what you got to do. But that's enough on that situation. Last night, so Friday night, at the time of recording, or it's Saturday, but Friday night last night. This airs Monday. Black Panther, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, all passed away again. The actor that portrayed these legendary names in real life, politics, music, and the comic book actor of T'Challa, the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, ended his battle with colon cancer. Chadwick was diagnosed back in 2016, stage 3 colon cancer, and he's been fighting that for 4 years. In that time frame, he put out 10 movies. Best thing about Chadwick is that the Marvel actors in the other films express how hard it is to get in shape and stay that big for superheroes. He did that while fighting cancer. and all these other movies that he did in between. We had to change weight and size and all that. He did that while fighting cancer. He made sure to play some iconic people in history, and now his name lives on with them. So Chadwick, rest in peace. Know your stories will live on. And black people will take this as a chance to check up on your health. I'm not saying Chadwick was unhealthy. I'm not, to be diagnosed with stage 3 means that he was probably living a healthy life and didn't even know. So, black people, go, get checked, get tested, eat healthier. And now on to the y'all hiring segment. We're gonna try and end this positively. Butterskin is an enriched skincare for multicultural tones that have individual products and full skincare regimen. This business was recommended to us by Smurf, so I'm taking this personal testament as law and saying this is a good product. Go and check them out. I looked over the page. They have skin toners, facial washes, all that stuff. But judging by the name, they want your skin as smooth as butter. Go and check them out. Melanated Motifs is a black woman-owned graphic design company. She just redid the new Ignorant Noodle logo, so I can attest for her work. She's good. She has like really good the eyeless black people paintings that you see. Like she does those, but she can personalize them. So she can take a picture that you give her and completely change it, or she can just redo that picture for you exactly. Hit her up if you want some work done. They're dope melanated pics. Some would call them motifs. Smurf, voice actor out of Houston, Texas. He has voice acted for multiple cartoons in production and has done commercial work. So hit him up if you need some voices. Smurf he's done a voice for one of my cartoons. When I finish writing the other one, he's going to do some voice work for that. He's also done some voice work for Sterling Cartoons. And he's done he's done a commercial for me. I think he's done 2 commercials for me. But yeah, check him out. Mystery Lex Visions is a photographer in the Atlanta area. She does amazing stills and action shots. If you want some pictures of good outfits or just want to look cool for social media, let her know. She's got you. Also does headshots if you need something new for LinkedIn. Gardens Beauty is the official esthetician of the Ignorant Noodle. She's out here waxing and browing. Come get your facials and vajacials if you're in the Columbus area. Use the Ignorant Noodle code for 10% off. Yeah. Use it at checkout. If you go to her Instagram right now, she's revamping. So I know her page doesn't have anything on it right now, but she's working on it. She's also done me. So if you want to see her work, go to my page. It's me getting waxed. One of the Dre Bing Dre episodes. OK Fitness is a personal trainer in the Columbus and Phoenix City area. If you're too thick and you want to be just a little thick, hit her up. She's going to turn that fat back into the back being fat. You feel me? Talking about your butt cheeks. She's going to make you fine in all the right places. Coke bottle figures. Tell her I sent you. I don't know if it's a discount, but tell her I sent you. And IQ Aquatics is a swim instructor in the Columbus, Georgia area. He can teach everyone of all ages how to swim. He's also certified and up to date on all his licenses, so he can even certify you on being a lifeguard and the CPR process. Also, he's a host for the Ignorant Noodle. That's cute. The guy that gives you the news, he's a certified lifeguard. The man lives in water. So yeah, if you want to learn how to swim, if you want to be a CPR, no CPR just for personal reasons, or if you have a lifeguard job that you want to be certified for, hit him up. He'll take care of you. He'll get you certified. He gives courses, to do the course, or you could just get swim lessons. He does group swim lessons. He does private swim lessons. He does public swim lessons. Just, let him know what you got. I'm Dre. This has been another episode of Inward News, and we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you.